History 1000 BC, Latins begin to settle in Italy. Republic 499 BC, a battle against foreign tribes commences, including the construction of the Temple of Castor and Pollux. 396 BC, the Etruscan city of Veii is defeated by the Romans. 390 BC, Rome is sacked by the Gauls after the Battle of the Allia. 380 BC, the once destroyed Servian wall is reconstructed. 312 BC, the Via Appia and Aqua Appia are constructed. 264–241 BC, First Punic War. 220 BC, Via Flaminia is constructed. 218–202 BC, Second Punic War. 168 BC, the Romans have a great victory in the Macedonian War, conquering Greece. 149–146 BC, the Third Punic War. 133 BC to 120 BC, the Gracchi brothers are controversially killed. 71 BC, Spartacus is killed and his rebel army destroyed. 60 BC, Pompey, Crassus and Caesar form the first triumvirate. 59 BC, handwritten news posters introduced. 58–50 BC, Caesar conquers Gaul, imperial city. 49 BC, Caesar crosses the Rubicon in order to take Rome. 44 BC, Caesar elects himself dictator, and in March is killed by Brutus and Cassius. 27 BC, Augustus is made Rome's first emperor. 13 BC, the Ara Pacis is constituted since Augustus secured his empire. 42 AD, the Apostle St. Peter arrives in Rome. 64 AD, the Great Fire of Rome, are rumored to be blamed by Nero on the Christians. c. 65 AD, the Romans begins to massacre Christians. 67 AD, St. Peter is crucified in Rome, and similarly St. Paul is executed. 72 AD, work on the Flavian Amphitheatre begins. March 80 AD, the inauguration of the Colosseum begins. 121 AD, Hadrian's Wall is completed. 125 AD, Emperor Hadrian has the Pantheon reconstructed to more or less how it is today. 212 AD, all the inhabitants of the empire are granted citizenship. 216 AD, work on the Baths of Caracalla is finally over, as the building gets completed. 225 AD, mathematicians allowed to teach publicly at Rome. 247 AD, the first millennium of Rome is celebrated. 270 AD, construction of the Aurelian Wall begins. 274 AD, the Temple of the Sun built at Rome. 284 AD, Diocletian partitions administration of the Roman Empire in half, thereby establishing the Eastern Roman Empire in Byzantium. Early medieval period. 312 Constantine the Great defeats Maxentius at Battle of the Milvian Bridge to become the sole ruler of the Roman Empire. c. 320 Old Street. Peter's Basilica is constructed. 325 Constantine convenes the First Council of Nicaea. 380 The Christian Emperor Theodosius makes Christianity the official religion of Rome, persecuting pagans and destroying temples. 402 Ravenna becomes the capital of the Western Roman Empire, whilst Constantinople that of the East. 410 Rome is sacked by Alaric, king of the Visigoths. 422 The Church of Santa Sabina is founded. 455 Rome is sacked by Genseric, king of the Vandals. 476 Romulus Augustulus is deposed, traditionally considered the end of the Western Roman Empire and the beginning of the Middle Ages in Europe. Byzantium continues to be the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire. 496 The first pope to achieve the Pontifex Maximus is Anastasius II. 546 Rome is sacked by Totila, king of the Ostrogoths. c. 590–604 Pope Gregory the Great makes the Christian Church exceedingly strong. 609 The Pantheon becomes a Christian church. 630 The Church of St. Agnes is the first Roman church to be constructed in Byzantine style. 725 The King Ine of Wessex is the first man to create a hostel for pilgrims to Rome. 778 Charlemagne conquers Italy and Rome. 800 Charlemagne is crowned the emperor in St. Peter's Basilica. 846 During the Arab raid against Rome, the Moors plundered the environs of the city, including Old St. Peter's Basilica, but they were prevented from entering the city itself by the Aurelian Wall. 880 to 932 A rare occasion. The city is governed by women, Theodora and later her daughter, Marozia. 961 King Otto the Great of Germany becomes in Rome the first Holy Roman Emperor. High Middle Ages. 1084 The city of Rome is attacked by the Normans. 1108 The Church of San Clemente is in this year rebuilt. 1140 The Church of Santa Maria in Trastevere is restored. 1200 The city becomes an independent commune. 1232 The cloisters in the Basilica of St. John Lateran are finished. 1300 Pope Boniface VIII proclaims the first Holy Year. 1309 The papacy is moved to Avignon under Pope Clement V. 1347 The patriot and rebel Cola di Rienzo tries to restore the Roman Republic. 1348 As in most of Europe, the Black Death strikes Rome. Roman Renaissance. 1377 The papacy returns to Rome with Pope Gregory XI. 1409 to 1415 For a short while, the papacy moves over to Pisa. 1417 The Great Schism of the 14th century is ended by Pope Martin V. 1444 Bramante is born. 1452 Old St. Peter's Basilica is demolished and a new one is begun. 1475 Michelangelo Buonarrota is born. 1483 Raphael is born. 1486 The Palazzo della Cancelleria is built. 1506 The first significant works on the new St. Peter's Basilica begun with Pope Julius II. 1508 Michelangelo paints the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. 1519 The frescoes of the Villa Farnesina are finally completed. 1527 Troops of Charles V, Holy Roman Emperor, attack Rome, looting and ruining the city. 1547 Michelangelo is appointed by Pope Paul III as the main architect of the new St. Peter's Basilica. Baroque period. 1568 The Jesuits build the early Baroque church of the Gesù. 1571 Caravaggio is born. 1585 Rome's streets are replanned by Pope Sixtus V. 1595 The frescoes in the Palazzo Farnese are begun by Annibale Carracci. 1600 Giordano Bruno is burned at the stake for his heresies. 1624 Apollo and Daphne, the sculpture by Bernini, is made in this year. 1626 Construction of the new St. Peter's Basilica is completed. 1633 Galileo is condemned for heresy. 1651 Piazza Navona is fully redesigned by Bernini. 1656 Bernini's colonnades in St. Peter's Square are begun. 1657 Borromini finishes his work in St. Agnes in Agon. 1694 The Palazzo di Montecitorio is finished. 1721 The English prince and pretender Bonnie Prince Charlie is born in the city. 1732 Work on the Trevi Fountain begins. 1734 The Palazzo Nuovo is made by Pope Clement XII, the world's first public museum. 1735 The Spanish Steps are designed. 1751 The Views of Rome by Piranesi revives interest in Rome's classical ruins. 1762 The Trevi Fountain is completed. 1792 Pope Clement XIII tomb by Canova is completed. 1797 Napoleon Bonaparte captures Rome. 1798 New Roman Republic declared by Napoleon. Pope Pius VI exiled. 1799 Napoleon is driven out of Roman Italy by the Russians in the Austrians. 19th century in Risorgimento. 1800 to 1801 Napoleon retakes Italy and Rome. 1807 Garibaldi is born. 1816 work on the Piazza del Popolo begins. 1820 there are a series of revolts in Rome and the rest of Italy. 1821 the British poet John Keats dies in Rome. 1848 uprisings in Rome. 1849 nationalists proclaim an unrecognized Roman Republic. Pope Pius IX is later restored to power in the city, after a French invasion. 1860 Garibaldi and his 1,000 soldiers take Sicily and Naples. 1861 the Kingdom of Italy is founded, with Turin as its capital. 1870 Rome captured by Italy. 20th century in modern Rome. 1911 the Altar della Patria is completed. 1922 March on Rome by fascists. 1925–40 large parts of the historic centre are pulled down and rebuilt by Benito Mussolini. 1929 a separate country within Rome, Vatican City, is created by the Lateran Treaty. 1940 EUR begins, and the nation enters World War II. 1944 Rome is liberated by the Allied troops from the Germans. 1957 Treaty of Rome. 1960 Rome hosts the 1960 Summer Olympics, with great success. 1962 Roman Catholic Church reforms are brought about with the Second Vatican Council. 1978 Italian Prime Minister Aldo Moro is kidnapped and later killed by the Brigate Ross. Pope John Paul I and Pope John Paul II are made popes in this year. C. 1978 to 1990 years of lead. Period of paramilitary violence across Italy. 1981 an assassination attempt on Pope John Paul II is made in St. Peter's Basilica Square. 1990 Rome hosts the 1990 FIFA World Cup final. 1993 Francesco Rutelli becomes the first mayor of Rome elected by the citizens. 2000 the city enters the new millennium, featuring a new holy year, or the Jubilee. 2004 a new constitution of the European Union is signed in Rome. 2005 Pope John Paul II dies in Rome, and Pope Benedict XVI takes his place. 2013 Benedict XVI resigns and Pope Francis is elected as his successor.